Okay, welcome again. I want us to do this question, and the question says the demand function of a firm is given as P equals Q plus 24, where P is the price, Q is the quantity produced and sold. The average cost function of the firm is given as AC equals 3Q plus 4, and you are asked to determine Roman 1, the marginal revenue function, Roman 2 is the marginal cost function, Roman 3 is the profit function, Roman 4, quantity that maximizes profit, part 5 is price that maximizes profit, and the last one is maximum profit. So we are going to start with the first one, which says we determine the revenue function. So we have been given the demand function is P equals Q plus 24, and the AC, or the average cost function, we are given as 3Q plus 4. Now we are asked to find the marginal revenue function. And we know that for us to be able to find the marginal revenue or the marginal cost, so we need to differentiate either the total cost or the total revenue function. So in this case, because we are now dealing with marginal revenue, meaning we need to find the total revenue first. Then after we have been able to get the total revenue, we differentiate, and then we are now going to be able to find what we call the marginal revenue. So in this case, marginal revenue, or the MR, it is given as a DTR over DQ, meaning we are differentiating total revenue with respect to the number of units produced and sold. So in this case, because we don't have the total revenue, and we know that total revenue is given as P you multiply by Q. That is the price you multiply by the number of units produced and sold. So in this case, what we have been given here we have been given P as Q plus 24. Our P here, we are going to replace it with this function. So this one is going to be Q plus 24. Then you multiply by Q. So once you open the bracket, Q times Q, it is going to give you Q squared plus 24Q. So this is our TR function. But I've told you that for us to be able to get the MR function, we need to differentiate the TR function with respect to Q, or with respect to the number of units produced and sold. Now we have the TR function as Q squared plus 24Q. So for us to be able to get the MR, we differentiate this function, that is DTR over DQ. So according to the law of differentiation, you take the power, you multiply by this number that is before this unknown. So 2 times 1 is going to give you 2, and then from there you are going to be left with Q, and this one is going to remain as 24. So this is our marginal revenue function. Part B of that question, we are asked to find the marginal cost function. And for us to be able to find the marginal cost function, what we need to do, we need to first find the total cost function. So marginal cost is equals to, or it is obtained by differentiating the total cost function with respect to the number of units produced and sold. So in this case, because we don't have the TC, what we have here is the demand function of the firm and the average cost of the firm. So for us to be able to find the TC, what we need to do, we can say this AC equals TC over Q. So because we want TC, so you can cross multiply, and you can be able to get that TC equals AC you multiply by Q. And because you have the AC function, which is 3Q plus 4, you can write it here as 3Q plus 4, then you multiply by Q. So in this case, once you open the bracket, you will get 3q squared plus 4q. So this is the TC function. But our interest is finding the marginal cost function. And I've told you that the marginal cost function is obtained by differentiating the total cost function with respect to the number of units produced and sold. So in this case, we want to differentiate this function so that we can be able to get the MC, or the marginal cost. So I've said that marginal cost, you differentiate the total cost with respect to the number of units produced and sold. So this is the total cost function. Once we differentiate, we get 6q plus 4. So this is our marginal cost function. Let us now proceed to part 3 of that question. It says we determine the profit function. So in this case, our profit function or profit is obtained. Profit we can denote it by pi, and it is obtained by taking the total revenue you less the total cost, or the total cost you less from the total revenue function. So in this case, because we know we have the total revenue function here, is our TL, and our TC is here. So you take this function, you replace with TL. You take this TC function, we replace with TC. So in this case, our TR function is given as q squared plus 24q, which is this one. I've taken this one. Then we less, because we are dealing with the unknowns, we need to open the bracket. So these are 3q squared plus 4q. Let us continue. This is a q squared plus 24q, you less, because now we are assuming that this one we have 1 before this bracket. So this negative 1 multiplied by negative 3q squared, it will give you negative 3q squared. Negative and positive, it will give you negative. So this is negative 4q. So we put the like terms together. We have q squared, and then here we have q squared. So q squared minus 3q squared, it will give you negative 2q squared. And then we have positive 24, you less 4. So 24q minus 4q, it will give you plus 20q. It is the same as writing this way. 20q minus 2q squared. So this is the profit function. This is the profit function. Let us now proceed to the third part of that question. That part of that question says we find the quantity that maximizes profit. We have been able to find the marginal revenue function, cost function, profit function, and now we are here at this point number 4, which says we determine the quantity that maximizes profit. So for us to be able to find the quantity that maximizes profit, we differentiate the profit function and then we equate it to 0. So in this case, because our profit function pi is given as a 20q minus 2q squared, I want to differentiate this function so that I can be able to get that quantity that maximizes this profit. So in this case, it is the same as saying this d pi you divide by dq, or differentiating profit with respect to the number of units produced and sold. So in this case, you are going to get 20 minus, this is 4q. And I've told you, for us to be able to get the quantity that maximizes profit, you need to equate this function to 0. So this is 20 minus 4q, then equate to 0. So you take this 4q the other side. So this one is going to be 20 is equals to 4q. You divide by 4, so that you can be able to get this unknown. So by 4, 1 by 4, 5. So q is equals to 5. So this is the quantity that maximizes profit. That is the quantity that maximizes profit. Let us now go back to our question. Part number 5 says we determine the price that maximizes profit. We have been able to get the quantity that maximizes profit as 5. And now let us go to the other part of that question, which says we determine the price that maximizes profit. So in this case, because we have been given the demand function or the price function is P equals Q plus 24. And for the quantity that maximizes profit, we have been able to get it as 5. So what we need to do, we need to replace this Q with 5. So I hope you can be able to see the working here. We have been able to find the quantity that maximizes profit as 5. So what we need to do, we take this 5, we replace Q with it. So this is going to be 5 plus 24. And the price that maximizes profit is 29. That's how you find the price that maximizes profit. Let us now go to the other question, which says the other question, which is the last part, says we determine the maximum profit. Maximum profit. So maximum profit, what we can do, we can plug this 5, the quantity that maximizes profit, to the profit function so that we can be able to get that maximum profit. So in this case, we know that our profit function, we were able to get it here. Profit function is 20Q minus 2Q squared. So what we need to do for us to be able to get the maximum profit, we are going to replace this Q with this 5. So in this case, it is the same as saying this. Our profit function, let us repeat, this is 20Q minus 2Q squared. We replace this Q with this 5. And the 5, in this case, it is the quantity that maximizes profit. So here, we are going to get 20, open the bracket, we replace Q with 5, you less 2 in bracket, 5 squared. So, this is 20 times 5, it will give you 100, you less 2 in bracket 5 squared, it is 25. So, this is 100 minus 2 times 25, it will give you 50. So, the maximum profit will be 50, because 100 minus 50, it will give you 50. So that's how you solve that question.